Okay, this is a question I haven't been asked yet, but I bring it up a lot in the public interest. Okay, so let's see what the legal context has to say as far as the public interest. And I asked the internet, I can't give you exactly what I read years ago, word for word, to the letter. So I asked the internet to do it for you, okay? In the legal context, in the public interest refers to actions, policies, or decisions made to benefit the overall welfare and well-being of the general public and a society as a whole. It's the guiding principle that ensures the collective needs and values are upheld, even if individual or private interests may sometimes be secondary. Key aspects. The concepts of the public interest involves several key aspects, including prioritizing, prioritizing the needs of the community over individual interests, serving as a foundation for legislation that promotes the common good, and acting as an ethical guideline for professionals in fields like the public service. It also involves advocating for underserved individuals and communities who may lack resources for self advocacy and addresses legal issues in broad impact. The doctrine also helps balancing individual rights against the needs of the community. Examples. Examples of action taken in the public interest include environmental protection laws, public health, policies like vaccination campaigns, civil rights advocacy, and providing access to justice through legal aid and low-income individuals. I mentioned the public trust doctrine. That's what they're talking about. Importance. The concept of public interest is crucial for the concept for public interest is crucial for fostering a just and equitable society by guiding decisions that promote a common good and address social problems such as discrimination and environmental issues. Public Public interest law doctrine explained. Public interest doctrine examples. Equal justice works. What is public interest law? Let's see, show law. Okay. So you'll always hear me when I say in the public interest, it's a legal term. It's the law. Every politician, every public servant, whether they're behind the badge in a uniform, if their taxpayer check is generated by the generous donations of we the people through taxes, you are public servants. And you are required to do what's in the public interest and maintain the public trust, in which that's what they're talking about in here, the public trust doctrine. And, medical, anything, the health, health issue, the health care, that's supposed to be in the public trust doctrine. Education, public trust doctrine. I spoke on that in my other videos, okay? Supposed to say how equal justice works, what is the public interest law. So you'll see in all my posts and me always putting in the public interest and maintain the public trust. That is the law. It's in the preamble, the rule of professional conduct. It's just about in everything I mention. Everything I post about is nothing but the law. And I recite it word for word to the letter and give no other interpretation outside of what is written and is required by law, the letter of the law. What is written must be done word for word to the letter, in the spirit of the law, so that we may all hear, see, and say the same thing. Okay, so there's a lot of different things you can find, but as you can see why throughout the years, I've gotten so deeply involved in learning and understanding the law. And everything I learned is because it was easy to understand due to the letter of the law. Any other interpretation is disinformation, which is illegal in any court of law. You can hold me to the letter of the law on that, as I will you in any court of law. And I will use every asset available. And as you can see, the Creator has rained many blessings when it came to my life. All the hardships I faced. I may not came out, I was thrown to the wolves. I didn't come out leading the pack, but my panza was full from Lobo tacos. I didn't come back leading the pack because I ate it. Sometimes it ain't so bad going through this alone. And that's what you're doing. A lot of you're going through it alone. And I'm teaching you not to. As long as you take the power of the Constitution and who it was dedicated to, we the people, you got millions behind you. All right, but so when you hear me say in the public interest, maintain the public trust, I'm just reciting the law. That's the law. Pretty simple, right? Use the letter of the law. Okay, what does that say? In the public interest, you know, what's in for the greater good. You got to work for the greater good. In the public interest, maintain the public trust. And the public trust is many things. The Constitution, that's yours. That's your birthrights. The healthcare system, that was in the public trust doctrine, public trust fund, and that was swindled beneath your feet, but that was generations ago, and I strongly suggest you fix that. Refer to the public trust doctrine. The public education system, so far it's, we have a lot of politicians and people working against educating the public as much as necessary, as I would do if I were your public servants. If I was running as president, governor, mayor, this would be a campaign slogan. You know, and you social influencers, you know, or people that want to be, please look it up, talk about it too. You know, you don't have to use my video, but you can use the internet. Okay, so I use AI for that one. Okay, but should I read it for you? Does it sound better when I read it? Most people like the sound of their own voice and to talk over others, and usually wind up in an argument because they're speaking as a matter of opinion versus when I speak as a matter of fact. So people, if you want to talk about something, please, there's so many things I've posted about that aren't being done. And you could use any of that to go on the internet, look it up, and then talk about it. And get other people to do something about it. There's my other videos, I even show you what to do, when, where, how, why, because it's in the public interest. I've always done what's in the public interest. as a Christian, as he commands, love thy neighbor. As a citizen, as a patriot, when I pledge allegiance to what that flag represents. Not who you voted for, the red or the blue, but what it represents and what it gave us, the United States Constitution. The Declaration of Independence of the United States Constitution. So this isn't about the red or the blue, it's about the red, white, and blue and what it represents. The fruits of its labor, the United States Constitution, known as the law of the land. Equally important, no law repugnant to the U.S. Constitution can stand, is null and void, and cannot be enforced. Oh, I'm sorry, I should read that. In the context of law, the public interest usually refers to the actions or decisions that benefit the well-being of the general public, often by addressing social justice issues, protecting valuable populations, or promoting more equitable society. It's a broad concept that encompasses a wide range of legal work, from representing individual clients to advocating for policy changes. Basically what I already read, okay? AI just repeats what else is on the net. Okay. There's so much you could learn if you want to. Open your eyes and open your mind, and with any luck, you won't just have it in your head, you'll have it in your heart. Teach your kids. Hey, I understood the Constitution first time I read it, and I was 10 years old. My older sister and brother were complaining because they had to take the Constitution test before they could graduate 8th grade. I just, everything there was to read, I had to read it, just because I liked reading. And when I was studying what they studied, there wasn't enough information there. So I had to go to the library and what's known today as fact check, get the backstory and the who, what's, where's, and why's. I was just an inquisitive child, and just as inquisitive now as I was then, because I'm still learning. Learning is a never-ending story, a never-ending process, especially when it comes to your life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. That's in the public interest. All right, that's what I talk about. Yeah. And I was asked how I know so much. Where did I learn this? If I was a lawyer, that's irrelevant. What's important is what I do, and you use it. You use it. All right. Knowledge unshared, kept to oneself, is wasted. So please, what you learn from me, you can teach to others. Say, how do you know? Well, it's the law. What are you, a lawyer? No, but it's on the internet. Let's look up this law. And we'll go over it together, and we'll use the letter of the law so you and I both hear, see, and say the same thing. In the spirit of the law, of course. All right, people. I just had to get this across to you. All right, if you've been following it and you you could in my last video I showed you can string my videos together to write up your complaint. Regardless of what they did to you in court is irrelevant. That's irrelevant. That's just not legal harassment, because they didn't do what they were supposed to do in the beginning, how everything was supposed to start, and that's called effective assistance Effective assistance of counsel guaranteed in the Sixth Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. If you don't have effective assistance of counsel, you didn't get a fair trial. You didn't get a fair trial. Well, you were denied due process in its entirety. That's including a quick and speedy trial, which is a rarity. And you can get out of whatever you're in just by that alone. The violation of your right to a quick and speedy trial. They don't even ask you. They don't mention it. And even if you demand it, which I did, I got ignored. The laws within a court of law are often broken and rarely utilized. So it's up to you. It's up to you to take them with you when you go to a court of law. The rules of professional conduct and the code of judicial conduct. In my younger years, I got laughed at because I interviewed a lot of lawyers. As some people would call, I vetted them. And I got chased out of a lot of their offices. And because I knew I needed one on call. Growing up, I got sometimes arrested going to school, coming home from school. A couple of times cops tried to arrest me in school for defending myself. They never followed through. You know, going to the store, getting the papers for my dad. It was a thing back then, you know. Everybody liked to read the newspaper. My dad had a daily thing. Seemed like no matter where I went, you know, things happened. I'd like to think it'd be irrelevant. It was because of the color of my skin, but that was a very relevant issue. You know, just as much now as it is then. It's just that thanks to technology, you know, and being able to record. You know, that law was made because it was in the public interest, you know. There used to be a law that you couldn't record public servants breaking the law, which was ridiculous. That started when people were buying video cameras and somebody recorded the Rodney King beatdown. If it wasn't for that camera, it would have just been business as usual and just another minority getting uppity and got his comeuppance. And but the video showed the truth. And then they said, no, you can't use that, and they made it a law that you couldn't record public servants breaking the law in public. In public. I don't understand why they don't have cameras in every court, because if they did, you would easily see that the rules of professional conduct, the code of judicial conduct, are broken on a daily basis. When I used to go to the county court to help people to get their rights, I had to argue with the public defender about a probable cause hearing. That's first and foremost. You know, they can't prove probable cause. It gets thrown out today, and he don't have to come back again, or she, or they, or them. Whoever was there, they were telling people, hey, just sign this and you can go. That's a violation of the rules of professional conduct in its entirety, and that's definitely not in the public interest. And every lawyer is required to do what's in the public interest and maintain the public trust, and that's line 12 in the preamble of the rules of professional conduct. But you go through the rules of professional conduct and you'll find it. So it's quite literally the law. And it's a requirement of all public servants. I just had to get that point across to you, okay? Because you see in a lot of my posts in the public interest, maintain the public trust. When I put that about violating the oath in the public interest, lock them up. You know, because violating the oath is a federal crime. Mandatory fines, removal from public service, and incarceration from violating the oath. And the oath requires them to uphold the Constitution. And right now we got people usurping the Constitution, which is against the law. They're calling it on TV, a rather polite term, a constitutional crisis. But it's just that one branch of the government overriding the other, which is illegal. That's usurping the Constitution. That's not living up to the oath you took. Violating the oath requires what? Fines, remove public service, and incarceration. That's a deprivation of rights. Nobody bringing it up, and you finding out from me it's a conspiracy against rights under the color of law, not just to me, but we the people as a nation in its whole. That's treason. That's high treason. That's high treason. I look it up. It's on the net, and I also did a couple videos mentioning that. Not doing what's in the public interest. What's anything contrary, establishing any law or taking any action contrary to the public interest is treason. You're breaking the law. You're defying the Constitution. You defy the Constitution. You decimate, you desecrate, and defecate on my birthrights, my constitutional rights, the Bill of Rights. Creating what? We're living under a corporacy. That's unconstitutional. That's un-American. And it's anti-American. Where are those people that took the oath to serve and protect against enemies, foreign and domestic? This is domestic terrorism. All I'm trying to do is end the conspiracy against rights. Not against me, but against my nation, my people, we the people. I just wanted you to know that. Just wanted you to know that this is why I do this. It's not to prove what I know, but to prove what you could know. To prove what you could know. And you can know it all. You can know it all. As long as you want to. You have yet to learn what you could. You have yet to realize your potential. And you understood everything I read. It's the law. So I'm pretty sure you can understand everything else I read. Alright, I never considered myself a smart person, just a person that consistently remembers what's hard to forget. When I was 10 years old and read the Constitution, it was easy to realize that wasn't happening. The older I got, I learned it wasn't just me, it was everybody it was happening to. Together, as a lion's roar, we will be heard. Because if you even go out there alone and demand what's in the public interest and demand they maintain the public trust, you won't actually be speaking for me or yourself as an individual. Because when you take the power of the Constitution with you, you're speaking for a nation of people. God bless and good night, people. Nothing but love. May your Creator always rain blessings, as many blessings that were rained upon me. It's called knowledge. It's not a given, it's taken. Take what you need. And remember, once you know, you'll never forget. It's one thing they can't take from you, that knowledge, what you learned. As young people would say, when you know, you know. Okay? Good night and God bless.